Who owns the market? One of the biggest misconceptions in real estate is that someone owns the market. The agent doesn't own the market. The seller doesn't own the market. The buyer doesn't own the market. The simple reality is that absolutely nobody owns the real estate market. The market is simply every buyer and seller making decisions at a point in time. So when someone says my agent will get me more money, I always ask, how? Because no agent can force a buyer to pay more than they're willing to pay. No seller can demand a price the market won't support. And no marketing campaign can create value that doesn't exist. The market decides. Now let's talk about buyers. Who owns the buyer? Again, nobody. Not the agent, not the seller, not the marketing company. The buyer belongs to themselves. They decide which homes to view. They decide what they like. They decide what they can afford. And ultimately, they decide what they're prepared to offer. The best sales process in the world doesn't control buyers. It simply creates an environment where buyers can compete fairly and openly. So if nobody owns the market and nobody owns the buyer, then who is actually in control? The answer may surprise you: the seller. Not because they control the price, not because they control the buyer, but because they control the decisions. They decide whether to list. They decide the marketing strategy. They decide whether to accept an offer. They decide whether to negotiate. They decide when to move forward, and they decide when to walk away. Every major decision belongs to the homeowner, even when using a traditional real estate agent. The agent advises. The solicitor advises. Friends and family offer opinions, but the seller signs the paperwork. The seller gives the instructions. The seller makes the decision. That's why selling successfully isn't about giving away control. It's about having access to the right information, the right tools, and the right support so you can make better decisions. At MyFizbo, we believe the seller should remain exactly where they've always been, at the center of the transaction, supported by professionals, guided by data, protected by their solicitor, informed by the market, but always in control of the decisions, because the market belongs to nobody. The buyer belongs to nobody, but the decisions belong to you. MyFizbo, putting homeowners back in control of the decisions that matter. Get sold, keep more.